we rolling on this now?
Reversing the Polarity started as a spoof on cult television. We had all this old footage from many years ago that I wanted to exploit in a new medium, which we couldn't use it in its original form because of various reasons. So what we did was come up with this concept of an old television show that has been firmly regarded as the years have passed. It's basically seasoned with age, although it's actually not a very good show. We're trying to question why certain shows become cult television when they don't really deserve it. You know, I think I think a lot of shows are seen through sort of rose-tinted glasses.
Well, come on! Don't you know a breakout when you see one?
So we had this old footage, and I thought, well, my favourite show is a certain show on BBC television at the moment that's a huge hit. I thought, okay, let's sort of slightly take the piss out of that and its fandom. Also, I wanted to sort of comment on the actor's career. It's really about, as well as the cult television angle, it's about the actors involved and how their perception of being in a cult TV show is in relation to their careers.
I think, you know, quite often when you work on a high-speed production like this, it's a matter of arriving on the set, and so really you have to be on the ball.
So we cast Mark Bennett as Mark Fielding Draven 1, who also was in the original footage. This is Mark Fielding, played by Mark Bennett, and your outline's about here. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And action.
Mark Fielding is a fictional character, and he was the actor who portrayed the very first Draven. He's an actor who had great success with that particular show, but unfortunately nothing much since. And you may remember in Whatever Happened to Mark Fielding, we revisit him, and he's still the same character. He's still quite loud and a little bit obnoxious, but things haven't gone to plan, shall we say. He hasn't got the respect in the industry that I think he deserves.
Mark Fielding and Rupert the two Dravens.
The way I became involved in Timequake was that Mark English, I think, had been in touch via a forum that a friend of mine maintained, where we all got together and talked about filming projects, that sort of thing. And he came on board and said, "Hello, I've seen some of your previous stuff. Would you like to come and be in this?" And I, as I always do, just idly went, yeah.
I'd actually spoken to Rupert a few times on email, and I can't actually remember how we initially got that contact with him, but we invited him down to be part of it, and I was very honoured that he said yes, because I said I'd give him lots of cups of coffee and cigarettes and praise his ego, which seemed to work a treat.
And next time I was down south, which was around my birthday, I went over and met Mark at Morden Station for the first time, and we just got on straight away, which was good. You know, by the way, you know, we sort of drove back to his house, filmed it very, very quickly and simply in his back garden. It took about an hour, I think, and that was a laugh, and we chatted on and departed, and that was the end of my involvement with Polarity, at least the first one.
We love Demos writing.
You were actually part of a cult TV show for a while. You were one of the four.
I was one of the
four Dravens,
I was
which
one of the
is
four Dravens.
is what we're looking at now.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's very true. I was the attractive one, obviously. The rest of them were all
adequate.
all right,
Yeah,
I
good.
suppose. You know, they did the job. They weren't fantastic, but what else can you expect if you don't spend any money on these people?
And then we had George Murphy, who was in the original shoot, playing George Kirby.
And, oh look, it's George Murphy. How are you, George?
I want to have a cup of coffee without you bothering me. Fuck's sake.
How do you feel, George? You always seem to manage to be in all my films since 1989. How does that feel?
Embarrassing for me, fortunate for Mark English.
Matt Wolf, who's worked with me quite a few times, as Matt Goldberg, who's the Draven of the American TV movie.
Hi Matt, this is your about 80th collaboration for MEV. How does that feel, actually working with Mark English yet again?
Feels like the 80th collaboration with Mark English, to be honest.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, but we're happy to have you on
That's
board.
right, clean the lens.
Yeah, I will, yeah. Rupert,
I don't know who any of these people are. They keep dragging me along to these things, like God's sake!
I think if you just look at the acting from my fellow Dravens, you see there isn't really much of a rivalry, is there? It's a bit of a one-horse race, really, with number one always in the lead.
I play the first incarnation of Draven, the original number one.
The show is about Mark Fielding, Rupert Shaw, and George Kirby. They're the three protagonists.
There we are, Mark Bennett and Sarah Lee Allen. Thank you very much for your wonderful time.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate. It's been great. I've got his autograph. Appearing in Reversing the Polarity was a very interesting experience for me. It's something I've done a couple of times and got used to doing, and working with Mark Bennett. Wow, what can I say? Interesting.
Alright, don't get you anything.
He's really talented. I quite look up to him, This is like my first sort of big run. It's really great working with someone like him, someone that's been around for a long, long time.
Sarah Jane Smith I've always enjoyed working with. She's a fantastic actress, a fantastic singer, and I think that she's got a long, long career to look forward to in the industry.
I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from everybody who did the piece, and it was really, really good fun and a really good experience, and I was really pleased to be part of it.
I began to realise I wasn't going to get anywhere with this.
I like that.
It's like the iteration.
And it's, what else do people say? They say, oh, well, they fake the videos or,
Enjoying yourself, George?
No, not really. A bit too close to Wales to enjoy myself.
With the new Polarity movie, we're going to be working with a new Draven. The show's been resurrected, and it's a huge hit for the TV channel. With Adam Manning playing the new Adam Manley, Mr. Sex, playing the new Draven, and he's quite sort of chuffed that his new guys are coming back to do cameos in the celebratory episode.
Well, Mark and I are in the process of very slowly co-writing the sequel to Reversing the Polarity. I'm not sure we've quite settled on a title yet. I'm no good with titles anyway. The title is all to do with him. He is the title man, he is the titler, he will think of a title. I'm not thinking of a title. And that's that's looking complex at the moment, because it's going to involve all the existing Dravens and introduce Adam Manning, TV's Mr. Sex, as the new Draven, who's part of the new series, which was all a spoof on something else I'm not going to mention for legal reasons.
Because everyone's playing, I think it's important to say, people are playing caricatures of themselves. I think it's very important to say, Although saying that, Mark Bennett is actually a really nice guy. He's not sort of the bitter old tosser that he's played in. No, he is a bitter old tosser, actually. Now he's getting old. Yes, so that's the premise for the next one.
Adam Manning actually is also less of a than Bennett.
I've told you before, get off my property. Come on, off. Off. Private citizen now. God, get out. Take that camera off.
Mark English. I have worked with Mark English. I have worked with Mark English probably over the last 10 or 11 years. I've learnt a lot from him over the years as well. But I don't want to big him up too much, obviously. But and then he's asked me to do these films, and it's just, that sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it?
It's been a big part of my life for the last few years. It's been really, really popular. What started off as just, in a way, a joke project amongst friends has given pleasure to a lot of people. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of the work that we've did. And that's not only from me as the original one, number one Draven, but from all the other Dravens as well.
I'm doing it mainly so I can ponce around wearing a wig pretending to be a rock god. I have my groupie scene in mind. It's called Writer's Prerogative.
It's been a lot of fun.
Well, that's it. The end of my part, a legend. A living legend. Well, we hope so.
hear that?
Can you hear that? We're trying to actually make this film under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. And I hope you appreciate when you actually see it all put together, the way it's edited, because the way it's edited is trying to hide stuff like this.
Tell them they're building a set or something.
Yeah, they're building a set to actually at Pinewood, and they're making what are they making? They're making the sequel to Casino Royale, which is called
Casino Royale
James
2.
Run.
Run James Run, yeah.
Right, let's go again.